Hey everybody, this is Big Dave. It is March 5th, and it's been a good, man, I want to say it's been about a month since my last update. Um, the month of February, sort of an interesting, challenging month. I'm officially 2 days out from my 3 month anniversary, so it's been 3 months and 2 days since my surgery, which was on December 3rd. Um, no complaints, but it's been interesting, and the process continues. Feels like it was a long time ago, actually. Like a lot has happened in these 3 months, but for the most part, I'm pleased, but I'm sort of aware of the challenges that lie ahead. So, to recap, I had my surgery, gastric bypass, on December 3rd. At that time, I was 291.2 pounds. Today, 3 months out, I am 225 pounds. Since my last update, or rather, I should say, in the last month, I lost 7 pounds. So obviously, that's a huge decline in weight loss rate. I can't say that I'm particularly surprised by that. I'm within about 15 pounds of my adult low, which was about 210 pounds about 10 years ago. So the range I'm in, and for somebody like me, 10, 15 pound swings were not uncommon. I'm basically in the window of that low, of my adult low. And I actually have a goal for my next doctor's appointment, which is in approximately 2 months, to be at 210. So I want to maintain this 7 pound per month weight loss for the next 2 months, so that when I see my doctor in early May, I'll be at 210, which will tie my adult low, and that will put me 25 pounds away from my surgery goal of 185. So right now I'm 40 pounds away from that. I want to drop 15 in the next 2 months, which would leave me with 25 pounds to go to reach my goal for the surgery. I think about the weight loss, and I definitely eat some things which aren't ideal. Not in huge quantities, but some of the snacking, for example, on a Saturday morning, I'm running out to take my kids to some activities. We might stop at a coffee shop. We'll get a muffin. I'll get a coffee, which I've started drinking caffeine again, which is great. That was approved at my last appointment a month ago, and only doing 1 cup a day. It's not like I'm drinking a lot of coffee, but I'm happy to have that back. But so, I'll do a coffee and I'll share a muffin with my kids, and I know that a muffin's not great, and I sort of rationalize it because I'm having maybe half of a muffin, and it's not an everyday thing. But I think those sort of calorie bumps that have come into my diet are one of the reasons for the slowed down weight loss. But overall, I still think when I track what I eat, still coming in between 9 and 1,200 calories per day on an average day, maybe 14 to 1,500 on a really heavier day. It's hard sometimes to know for sure when you're eating meals that you prepare or you're eating out versus sort of like processed things that have calorie counts. I do my best to gauge it. I'm still cooking a lot. In terms of eating, I have had some dumping issues, and I'm beginning to think it's not so much what I'm eating that causes it, more than eating fast or eating without giving enough time between meals. Sometimes I'll get home from work, and without thinking too much, I'll have a cheese stick or a handful of nuts. And then half an hour later, I'll sit down for my dinner, which in and of itself, I don't think causes me any problems. But because only 30, 40 minutes have passed since I had those snacks, the food does not sit well, does not go down well, and I end up having sort of a mild dumping syndrome, which passes in 20 minutes and I can get through it. but sometimes it'll hit hard and I'll have to throw up. Um, I can't recall if this happened prior to my last video, but we ordered Thai food one night and I had the worst dumping experience I've had. I threw up several times and it was really uncomfortable. And I think in that case it was the food. It was a very garlic heavy sort of thing. It just did not sit well, and I was really got sick from it. Interestingly enough, my wife, who's happy that I've lost weight and I'm getting my health back together, whenever I have these kind of problems, she's somewhat sympathetic, but she's also sort of irritated. It's like, you know, she's worried that I'm going to be dealing with this for the rest of my life, and that, it's a shame I couldn't have handled this weight issue without surgery. I don't really respond to that. It is what it is. The process of deciding to have the surgery was a long, well thought out one, and I'm happy where I am and the changes in my health. So I just think in the heat of the moment, she doesn't like to see me suffering, and that's how it comes out. Other news. So this may or may not be related to the surgery and the diet I'm following, but I had a kidney stone for the first time in my life 2 weeks ago, and that was horrible. I wasn't sure what was going on, and I was worried that I was having this terrible pain as a side effect from the surgery. So I called my surgeon. He's like, just get to the emergency room. They did a CAT scan, X-ray. They did other things. Turned out it was a kidney stone, which if you've had it, it's horrible, and it still hasn't passed. So it's inside of me to pass at some future date. We don't know when. I carry around a bottle of morphine pills that they prescribed me, and I'm just waiting for that guillotine to fall and chop off my head. Hopefully I'm close to home, or I could take a cab home. But now that I know that it's a kidney stone, I think some of the fear won't be an issue. Working out wise, I've been happy to be in the gym, but for about a week and a half prior to this week, I was swamped at work and could not make it. The month before that, I was going solidly 3 times a week. Last 2 weeks, I've only started going in this week. I really want to go, but my gym is located where I work, in the building where I work, and so if I don't get to it before work at lunch, I'm not going to get to it in the evening. And the other part is, when I don't work out, I know that I should probably be doing some stuff at home, a little cardio at home, push-ups, planks, other activity I could do for 15 minutes at home, but I haven't gotten there yet. I'm not doing it. So that's something that if I do it, I think it's going to help me, with the weight loss. But not perfect, not trying to be perfect, trying to do well and be smart and set myself up to have long-term success. But, it's a lot. It's a lot. Alcohol. Now that I'm at 3 months, the nutritionist told me I could have a glass of wine. And a couple weeks ago, we had a sort of a week off from school, so we went with some friends to a rental house upstate, and I thought, this is a good weekend for me to celebrate with a glass of wine. But I had just eaten dinner and I was really full, and the thought of having a glass of wine actually turned me off. And 2 nights I tried it, and the same thing happened. I didn't actually taste it. I just thought, I'm gonna do it, and I poured myself a glass of wine, and it's sitting there, and I'm full, and just the smell of it just was not, it was easy for me to say no, even though I was sort of excited about it. Since then, I've actually had a couple of events where alcohol was flowing freely, like a fundraising event, a sort of gala type thing, and those were easy to not drink at. So we'll see. Sometimes my mind is like, oh, I'd love to have a beer, or, something I really enjoy, but I'm not there yet. And I've been discussing with my wife, this summer, I think I want to be able to drink again. But I think I'm really thinking that avoiding alcohol is really what's keeping me afloat here, because not only the calories but just overall health. I know I sleep better when I'm not drinking, and I don't know if alcohol would also make me snack. So in any event, I'm gonna cling to the no drinking thing for a while. I do have my caffeine back, which is great, um, but alcohol can wait. Eating out, in my last video I talked about some challenges. In the subsequent, in the last month, went out to some meals that I really enjoyed, but they were like, a nice sushi restaurant. I had sashimi, just top-notch stuff that was just really great, and it felt like such a treat. It's like the best meal I've had in months. Other things maybe not as great, like a brunch here or there. I could make eggs at home. It just didn't do anything for me. But mostly I'm just cooking a lot, although I have found some sort of prepared meals, whether that be like chilies or soups or, certain ethnic foods like Indian foods that you could buy like at Trader Joe's that are prepared already and sort of consist of beans and sauce, and they're good and I like them and they're easy. But basically that's what's going on. It's like I said, it's March 5th. It's been 3 months and 2 days since my surgery. Here I sit at 225 pounds. I've entered the ballpark of a weight that I was once very happy with. And, my target for 2 months from now when I see my doctor again is to be at 210. And I'm really going to work on achieving that. Because at 210, anything below 210 to me is really kind of like we're getting into the bonus territory. I want to get to 185, but I think 210 will feel like a relief. All right, I'm back to, the best I was before this surgery 10 years ago. And, now we're going to make this final push over the rest of this year, 2019, to really get to 185 and achieve what seemed impossible before. So that's where I'm at. These videos aren't getting a lot of views, but I still find them valuable for my own sake to document what I'm going through and what I'm feeling. So that's all. Talk to you guys probably in a month, and hopefully have more good news to share.